I'm a big believer. I don't think where you shoot or the backdrop or stuff matters that much. To me, the comedy is the special. So, because people are like, are you concerned about doing the special in the same room over and over again? But I'm like, but the material is different. And I sort of look at those two and this new one as like my Village Underground trilogy, and maybe I'll move on so I don't have to answer questions about it anymore. But then part of me just goes, maybe I'll just do one a year here for life. The new special is going to be called Enough for Everyone, or Everybody. Enough for Everybody. I don't even know. I'm trying to think of the joke it's references. Yeah, Enough for Everybody. I've never really thought about a theme at all. It's just whatever comes up. My writing process or whatever is basically just like, oh, that was kind of funny. Maybe I'll try that. I try to make the specials as much like a random Thursday at, Comedy on State or Side Splitters or something like that. I want it to feel like you just came to a night of comedy.
You know how long it takes to put an hour together? This guy is just off on the road, quiet, keeping his head down, writing, hustling, shuffling. I gotta quit drinking.
We don't get fooled again.
I've known Joe for, 15, 16 years. We have a podcast together. We've been going for 10 years plus. Hey, Mark Normand here, stand-up comedian, mediocre. I've spent more time with him than any comedian. I think I can vouch just from the pod alone, the car rides, the road, the open mics, the bar rooms, the comedy clubs, the theaters. I've been to his parents' house. His dad's weird. We've shared booze, food, and women.
In high school, the Chris Rock Bring the Pain special came out. That was like really mind-blowing. And then 98, 99, I'm telling you for the last time, that Seinfeld special came out. That was great. Richard Pryor, the Long Beach special, I think it's just called Live. Oh, and then Chappelle, that first Chappelle, Killing Him Softly. And then in like 06, 07, Louis C.K.'s Chewed Up, and then Shameless. Those ones really sort of blew the doors off for me. And there's a combination of young children and hot women walking by.
Comedy's changed so much. Since I started comedy, it was all about get on Letterman, get on Leno, get on Conan, get an HBO hour. HBO is the top of the mountain, the pinnacle, the peak, Jerry.
It's changed so much. I mean, it's weird. I sound like an old man. I started when I was 18. I'm not that old. I'm only 41. But soon I'll start lying about my age. But I always joke about this. I have my first comedy notebook. I have everyone's phone number. They're 7-digit phone numbers. Like I feel like I'm from the 40s. When I started, you sent a VHS tape. You had a camcorder and you had a VHS tape, and you literally put it in an envelope and mailed it to somebody.
And then this thing called Netflix came around, and you got your Bill Burrs, and then Seinfeld moves to Netflix, and Chris Rock, and Chappelle, and Maniscalco, and it changed everything. You had guys like Tom Segura, who weren't big, and then they get on Netflix, and they skyrocket. Ali Wong, skyrocket. Sorry if I'm hiling, but these things blew up. And so it was like, okay, this is the new platform to get on. Gotta get on Netflix.
When you do TV in the old days, or when you still do it, you have to send a transcript of your act, and they give you notes and go, what if you said this instead? And it was the worst part of it. I felt like at that point too, I was getting some love from the industry, but I couldn't imagine getting an hour special. Netflix, I don't think was interested in giving me an hour.
I couldn't get a thing to save my life. The industry was changing. Nobody wanted me. I was a bum. I was worthless. I was gay. I had an hour cooking. I've been running this hour for years, and it was getting embarrassing. I'd go back to Denver with the same hour, and it was honed to shit. I had this thing beaten out. Every word was humming, baby. And Comedy Central said, you know what? We'll give you a digital hour, meaning we'll put you on our YouTube page. They had 5 million subscribers at the time. That was insane. Still is. So I was like, all right, well, at least I'll get on their digital page on YouTube. Then eventually they go, you know what? We're not going to give it to you. And I was like, God damn it. So we said, we already shot it. We spent a couple grand. It was all the money I had. I guess we'll just put it on YouTube. I mean, we're not going to throw it in the trash. My special was called Out to Lunch. And I tried to sell it to everybody. Nobody would buy it. And it was a last-ditch effort to put it on YouTube. And I was sad. I felt like a failure, but it popped, thank God. And then we all learned that, hey, YouTube might be the way. This is a viable source of eyeballs. I had no idea what I was doing. I called in a bunch of favors. I know a bunch of audio-visual guys, Jason Katz. He helped a lot. I did out in LA just so I wouldn't have to fly in anybody. My manager made some calls, and we found a couple cheap retards who could knock it out, and we pulled it off. And if you watch it, it's a little shoddy, it's a little all over the place, but it was enough.
Sam Morrill and Mark Norman had just done, who are like my two best buddies in comedy, they had just shot their own specials. And so I kind of hit them up, and they were like, we use this guy, Jason Katz. And I just went, okay, great. I mean, it's hard to even remember. It's one of those things you're like, so often in life, you're like, how did I get here? And I just thought, I'm going to do it at the Comedy Cellar because that's my home club. They're good to me. I know them. I always try to simplify everything. I don't know what I'm doing. So I just go, okay, Jason would say, hey, we have 4 cameras, 6K, HK, HBK, whatever, and I went, yeah, okay, whatever. It's funny because Jason Katz, who's directed all 3 of my specials now, or our specials, he's very particular and precise and chatty and wants to know everything. And I'm like, I want to show up and tell jokes. I can't. And so there's 350 phone calls. I don't respond to any of them. He probably hates me. But, I'm a big believer. I'm a comedian. I write jokes and I tell them. So I want to do that and everything else you do.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Thank you so much for being with us. You excited? You're a special crowd. You're special, so give us your all, right? Laugh at everything. And I'm not on this special, so laugh at everything I say too, though. Still, that applies.
I hate myself. I'm extremely proud of. That was the first thing I did that I was like, I think this is very good. Liz Furiardi at the Comedy Cellar, I probably just said her name wrong. She is the best, and she did so much of the work, putting it together, and it came out great. It got 9 million views, I think, in a few years, so it certainly helped me very much. The crowd was just on fire, and I was really proud of the material. I really worked it a lot.
There's pros and cons to shooting your own special. The pros is you get to own it. You get to do whatever you want with it. You can shoot it however you want. You can use whatever background you want. You can say all the material you want. There's no notes, no restrictions, no nothing. And that part's great. But then you can go with this giant streaming platform and you make a couple bucks and you get a little prestige. But you're going to get some notes. You're going to get some editing. You're going to get some no's and some, they can't do this, can't do that.
That's the great benefit of shooting on your own independently, is there is nobody to answer to. There's not anybody going, we actually didn't like that, or we didn't like this, or if you could do this order. There was literally no feedback, which can be good and bad. I mean, there is feedback. The feedback is from the audience. And you work the road for a year and you fine-tune what is going to work and what not. And there was like no pressure. You're shooting 2 shows. You hope someone buys it. If they don't buy it, you can still put it out. And it gives you more options. So it was a much more like, also I was much more mature and been doing comedy much longer, at 20 years at that point. So it was awesome.
So this is Joe's 3rd hour at the Comedy Cellar alone. I mean, he's done other stuff. He's done albums. He's done a half hour on Netflix. He's done Last Comic Standing. He bombed on Rogan. I mean, he's everywhere. But who is more prolific than this queef? This guy puts out a banger on YouTube a couple years ago. I hate myself. He's wearing a cute jacket. He looks great. And it's all at the Village Underground. Then he did another one like 10 minutes later, called This Year's Material. That one's killer. I saw it live. I watched it with Louis. And then now he's got a new one.
Hey, you guys have been so much fun. Thank you so much. It's almost time. All right. Thank you very much. I gonna go back there and introduce him. So when I say his name, you all act like you got an A on your report card. Are you ready? Here we go. All right, the reason we're all here, ladies and gentlemen, Joe List.
Yeah, enough for everybody. And it ended up going great. We did all the same stuff, Village Underground, no sign this time. I thought about getting a really small sign as a funny joke, but it was still like $4,000. Same thing, we shot on, I think, a Monday night. Stan Morrill came by, Colin Quinn, Norman was out of town, that piece of shit. No, I want to just capture a fun night of stand-up comedy. This is a Monday night, I'm doing the show, I got some fans here, it's full, and I'm hanging out with my friends, and you know, Matt Wayne opened, did a great job, and I'm excited about it. I really liked the material on it, and the shows went great, and we'll see.
He's 20-year plus comic, so he's kind of found the groove, and he's zinging and zanging. So check it out and watch his stuff and comment and be nice, goddammit. The guy's got some problems.
But yeah, I'm very comfortable there. It's my home club, and Liz does such a great job. I like having her there. And the other thing that's great is it's in New York, and so all my friends come. It's a real hang. I mean, it's all these comics come. It makes you feel like George Bailey, and it keeps it loose. You're kind of hanging out with everybody, and you go, oh, hey, what's up? You know, Sean Donnelly's here, and Matt Wayne's here, and Louie's hanging out, and Norman comes by, and Sam, and Colin Quinn, and so it just feels like your birthday. It's really a lot of fun. I hope it translates still. At the time of recording this, I haven't seen a cut of it, so it might blow. I don't know.